All right, cool. Dollar, okay. So I don't want to pick a low, but let me explain this. Right. So first of all, weekly chart. First thing I'm seeing off the bat is I'm curious to see. Well, not curious, but I am very optimistic, confident that eventually price will reach here. Obviously, off the bat, you can see the wick that took liquidity and gave an immediate reaction. That's what we like to see, right? But I don't want to see this as the type of POI that. Hold on, guys. Where's my phone? Hold on. I don't. How do I say this? Just lost my train of thought. I don't necessarily want price to come here and fly, right? I just want to see if this could be the catalyst for a potential pullback continuation, right? Because obviously price can't just completely fall forever, right? I can see a type of recuperation or a type of recovery inside of the intraday time frames, right? So next to the daily chart, we actually reacted off of this inefficiency here, inefficiency fill here. We reacted from there. So the only reason I'm marking this isn't because this is a POI that I was looking at, blah, blah, blah. It's just that I want a reason, right, behind a potential pullback starting, right? So as we're looking at intraday structure, right, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, right? But then after this low, we got a continuation. We got a liquidity grab that tapped to the T, that inefficiency there. So due to the fact that we ran liquidity, reacted from that zone, and are now taking out levels of structure, right? This is a catalyst that we can see potentially start to create a pullback, right? But keep in mind, right, that even if, right, if this creates a reaction, we are still in bearish structure. So obviously, right, any move to the upside is only a continuation, right? But so technically, right, we are technically still inside of this range, right, and trying to see what's going to happen. We can see something like that. We can see something like this. We could even see something like this. Honestly, I'm no clue. Like, I usually have a clue, but no, not today. Just because I don't want to try to guess the directional bias for the next 2-3 days or so. I'm really curious to see how this weekly is going to be. And depending on how this weekly is going to depend on how next week's weekly is going to move. And honestly, probably after that, I probably won't trade for the rest of the year. I'm going to start being a little bit more selective now, especially with dollar. I'm curious to see what happens, right? So obviously here is our point of invalidation of our bias. So if we were to come up, right, tap this POI. So the reason why I highlighted this POI, right, is because, right, back to the weekly chart. What the hell? Okay. Remember the last time we got a pullback, right, before continuing lower, was we had to fill a weekly inefficiency. And so who's to say, right, over the next 2-3 weeks, we get another recovery into this inefficiency and continue lower, right, where your immediate target would be obviously the zone that we marked out on the weekly. But it's 50-50, and I don't really want to guess. I don't want to try to sell EU in this perspective. Yes, you could get a nice intraday trade, but I know I tell you guys to be dynamic with being with both directions. But me personally, I'm just a super pro trend guy, especially now. Even though I still do make my mistakes, I try to be pro trend every single trade. So as we're analyzing this, right, I'm in the perspective of continuation, right? This is still a bearish structure, and we could see any type. We could even come back into this wick here, and continue lower, or these could be showing catalysts for potential bullish movement. So from the bullish perspective, right, the liquidity grab, daily inefficiency, minor. I mean, this is minor, major intraday here because it's H1, and then we come up higher, and we actually took out the high that created the final drop lower. So that's not technically a full-on BOS, but it's something that is pretty much raising my attention. So now that we've created this higher high, which is technically the pullback to this, right, we now come back and we actually mitigated off, I think M10, yeah, no, not, I don't think it was M10, 15. Okay, yeah. So 15-minute inefficiency here and here. We came back, mitigated that, and gave a reaction, but we haven't taken out this high. But honestly, I do see this high being taken out, probably during London. And the reason why I say that is because of this reaction, right, we now have corrective structure forming. So if this was invalid, or not even invalid, but not essentially a real catalyst, then this corrective structure would have created bearish movement, but it didn't. So now that we've pretty much gotten this corrective structure and we gave the move down, but we failed to break structure, right, this is now signifying to me that bullish order flow is in play, right? And then wherever this mitigated from, wherever here, let's see if we can find it. No, we'll take too long looking for that. But anyways, right, as you can see from here, scalp breaker structure here, minor intraday breaker structure here. So this could now be a catalyst to want to take this higher, right? Who's to say we don't take liquidity and start moving up? So this is just super. I don't want to pretty much say clean for either direction, but I'm just aware of both biases, and to be honest, I probably won't even touch the EU or DXY for the rest of the week, just because I want to see how the daily closes tomorrow on Friday, and how our weekly closes on Friday. So the only other pair I've been really focusing on, obviously, is EG, and let's see, H1. Right, so looking at a pretty much intraday perspective here, you could see that we are in our downtrend. I mean, in our uptrend here, right? Low, high, took out multiple levels of structure, low, and then a high here. So this move here, even though you remember we sold this distribution because of the with the markups that I showed you guys, we sold because of this. We sold because of that, right? And we saw the distribution in play, right? So the distribution is in play, right? The distribution is in play, right? I can see this is one full leg down, but that isn't enough for me. So as we go into our time frames here, right, we're gonna actually see everything. So this entire thing is our distribution that we talked about, came mitigated here, right? Then we gave the higher low based off of this structural range here. Here we failed, right? Hence the orange here. This shows unwillingness to continue lower, right? So this happened. We then had a structure break here and the recovery back into the M15. Unfortunately, I sold right around here, and then this wick broke me even before we continued lower. That would have been a very good trade there. Aiming for obviously the next important level of structure, which is here, and unfortunately this didn't tap, and it mitigated something here like M1, But because it's so deep, it doesn't make sense to me for this to actually continue higher without any other catalyst. So use M3. Maybe M3 50%. Who knows? Right, but anyways, after this quote unquote distribution here, right, we then have this, right, then we talked about this, the unwillingness to continue higher here, right, and then led to a structure break, right? So now from here to here is the full leg, but as I'm reading the minor intraday here, every little leg I see, right, this, the mitigation play, down, took structure, right, pullback, down, broke structure, right? So technically we are still, this would be technically your point of invalidation, right? And the reason why I have pending here is because this news event from like that happened right at right at New Day Open could be obviously the pullback to this entire leg or to even this final leg here. So as we obviously are seeing this, we're still in bearish structure, but for the pretty much for the minor term, we are technically bullish. So I'm really wanting to see, I actually highlighted this area, it was M4. I was really waiting pretty much to see what would happen at this POI here. Obviously not take a trade, it's Asian session. But depending on what happens here, right, will depend on what pretty much outcome the direction here is, right? Because let's say we break here, but we sustain this, right, before starting to come lower, maybe break structure, get a continuation, right, and then get lower, right? That would solidify this as the overall high as long as we take out these levels of structure, right? So it's interesting, very interesting. I'm pretty much waiting now for the next H4 close, which is in 3 hours. Right, that's what I'm pretty much waiting for, just to see where this ends up, and then go from there pretty much. Because yeah, it's, even though this is still seeming extremely bearish to me, if we break this high, then that's extremely scary, because now you have a target in relative equal highs, I guess, here, right? And after that you have target here, and then you have a target here. But for the most part, I'm still pretty bearish on this. Yeah, I'm still pretty bearish on this. I don't want to force that reversal just yet until I'm actually forced to. So yeah, pretty much from there, right, this could be the final catalyst that we need, any type of mitigations here, right? Because obviously this is the wick of this bearish candle, right? And we can easily, hopefully, start finally seeing this roll over and start actually testing these premiums here. Yeah, so pretty much that's today's lecture. Very curious. I really want to see what happens here over the next 3-4 hours, and then pretty much go from there. So do you guys have any questions? Let's see, how many people we have on call? 14. Cool. Any questions? Anybody? Questions, concerns, trade ideas, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm still holding my positions here. I hopefully don't see this start actually mooning. I would really love to see this continue. Guys, does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Let's see. Does anybody want to bring anything up? Oops. Yeah, inverse of, I haven't even marked this out. Yeah, it's inverse of EG. Oh yeah, my bad. Hold on, let me open the chat. I'm good, bro. None tonight. None tonight. Surprised, bro. I'm surprised. None tonight. Yeah, bro. Pretty much just be wary of DXY, and then EG unless we actually break any major many major structure points, we might actually see bullishness. But until that happens, I'm not, going to assume that. Cool. Let's see, John, Ricky, Stone, Brian, Aaron. Yeah, most of you guys in here are pretty experienced anyway. But yeah. Any final questions, concerns, comments, requests? Because if not, we can just end it off there. Pretty quick Zoom today. Can we look at AU together? I haven't looked at AU in so long. Cool. What do you see? Well, this is still going. Does that mean NU still going? Kind of. Yeah, this is bullish. Yeah, bullish. It's just super overextended though. And even though it's super overextended, I don't like. Right, I don't like that we didn't substantially take this high out. Right, this is previous high. Substantially take out the high before correction. Right, this by all means could still continue. Looking at H3, H4. Oh, this has been cheese for you guys. This has been cheese. Seeing that right now. What exactly do you want to look at? I just wanted your insight. I mean, right now I wouldn't touch it at all. Right, it's way too high to buy, but no real reason to sell because we've already taken out structure there. So this is one of those buy every dip kind of. Right, because don't forget you got targets. You got targets there for the long term. Doesn't mean hold the trade there. That just means you have a bias to play into. Yeah, but this isn't something I touch right now. You see previous structure, inefficiency there, and then that was the catalyst that now took out this structure. So we just cleared liquidity here. So yeah, it's not something I want to touch. This sticks out. That sticks out. Yeah, so I would love to see this. In an ideal world, you would love to see this come tap here, right? Because now you're substantially taking out this high, creating a very structured market. So now any pullback caused by the reaction of this could easily be an opportunity to go higher. Right, because this mitigated that, gave a strong move. There's inefficiency here, and candle there. I'm not gonna break down the candle. You can do that. That's for you to do. But yeah. Cool. Anybody else? No, we're good. Are we good there, guys? Cool. Yeah, I'm still working on the content. For sure, the last week of the year, I'll probably just take a break. I probably won't even be in the group. I'll probably just take a break for the last week of the year, and I'll be probably grinding out my if I take a winter master course, I'll be grinding that out, and I'll be working on the new content then, which I can hopefully finish that week. Take your time. Yeah, I'm taking my time, bro. Don't worry. I don't dedicate more than 30 to 60 minutes a day to it, because I want to enjoy it while I make it. That way it's how do I say it? It's not like half-assed. So yeah, the content will come, guys. Good night, guys. Good night.